For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic. Before the Dark Times, before the Empire.
If you remain the power of the dark side,
you may fire when ready.
I'll show you the dark side. We would be honored if you would join us.
Don't worry, R2. We're going.
Back it up, but how dare what you have there?
I am a Jedi, like my father.
Welcome back to Blah Wars, and welcome back, Jude. How you doing?
Good
How
to
you
be back,
been?
mate? Yeah.
Thank you.
How have I been? How long you got?
Go on, we've got a whole episode to fill. We've got absolutely nothing to talk about this week. No, just kidding.
How do I feel? I feel like, you know, when you've been so busy,
Yeah.
that sometimes you just think, if I broke my arm or something, nice little stint in hospital would be a treat.
Yeah, I got you. Hearing you, man. Hearing you. Well, thank you to Raj for sitting in last week. That was good of him.
Cheers, man.
But, you know, everybody, the burning question on everyone's lips. I mean, I was down the road the other day. This old dear was crossing the road. I said to her, "Excuse me, love, do you want to hand with that bag?" So I was carrying her bag, and she went, "Here, what did you think of the Han Solo trailer?" And I was like, "Oh, well." So, I don't know. Everybody keeps asking me, and everybody wants to know, put us out of our misery, Jude. What did you think of the Han Solo TV spot and trailer?
Blimey, it's a long time ago now.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Oh, you see what you did there, man.
Yeah.
See what you did there, lad. What did I think? So the TV spot came out the Super Bowl, didn't it? And it was...
Super Bowl? I'd rather watch a bowl of soup, as I once said. I believe it was me.
To be honest,
Made
that's
that
coined.
joke.
Next. I mean, well, before we get into that, let's talk about the Super Bowl. What a pile of crap. I was chatting to a guy around where I live, yeah? He says, do you know what he does? There's apparently some app that cuts all the adverts out. He has a sleep, gets up next day. He said he watches the actual gameplay. I said, how long does that take? He went, half hour.
Oh,
What's
my
the
God.
point? It's not a sport.
Yeah, it's
not a
ridiculous.
sport.
It's fucking ridiculous.
So if you're into that, stop it or stop listening to our show 'cause I've got no respect for you.
That's like 45% of America just disappear. Right.
Yeah, well, it wasn't like other trailers, right? So I remember being really excited for Rogue One. I remember being really excited for Last Jedi, all that stuff. But I think, like the majority of fans and you, I've said in the past, not really fussed about this film.
Yeah.
I've got no expectations for it. And I think that's a good thing. I think I can genuinely just go in there with a weight off my shoulders and just go, I'm just going to sit back, kick back and enjoy the ride. And just hope it gives me those feelings of what I expect from a Star Wars film.
Uh-huh.
What I'm worried about it, and I'll talk about the trailer in a minute, what I'm worried is that I'm just going to go and see this film and it's just going to feel like a film in space.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where's that Star Wars sprinkle? I want some Star Wars sprinkle on my face and eyes.
You like your reference? I mean, like Rogue One and having Vader and stuff in it. You know that's the kind of you want that sort of like you want it to sort of hold hands with the.
No, I don't want fanboy stuff.
Right.
Do you know, like Rogue One was so good because of even like the lighting on the Star Destroyers, the way the light cast from the sun or whatever it was across the Star Destroyers as they're outside the Death Star, and it was like uber light, it was uber bright. They could have been models. That's how good the CGI was.
All pristine and white and everything as well, like they were in the old movies.
Yeah, and like there is a bit of fan service in that film, but it felt like a Star Wars film. It felt like there was structure. You cared about the characters, and I hope, and it's going to be difficult with this. I hope we're going to feel the same with Solo. Okay, what did I think about the trailer? I think I wasn't massively blown away by it, if I'm honest. Mm-hmm. I didn't phone you up and go, ooh, freaking right out.
No, I genuinely don't even know what you thought of it because we've not been able to speak about it.
Well, we've both been next level busy. think it was well paced. I think it certainly didn't feel like a Star Wars trailer, especially with the music. There was some sort of grungy guitar thing, going on. So I think that kind of gave you a flavour of what to expect.
Yeah.
Some sort of underground, gritty underworld.
It was only trailer music, though. I mean, the trailer music for Rogue One wasn't even close to the soundtrack for Rogue One.
But we've not heard any sort of music like this at all ever in a Star Wars film anywhere.
Yeah.
So there wasn't the same grandeur that you'd expect from a Star Wars film. Highlights for me, I think with the TV spot, it was Lando with the lightning sort of flash, and he's wearing that massive pimp coat, the furry coat. I'm like, yeah, it's Lando. Chewbacca, meh. He's becoming a C-3PO character for me.
Yeah,
he needs to do something in this film. I want to care about Chewie again.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll use him very well.
Films they better do, because all the films that have come out recently with him in it is just background fodder.
Yeah,
just there because he has to be there. I like I love the bit where that Star Destroyer is going through that sort of foggy cyclone and the TIE bombers come out. That was quite nice.
Nebula
well
thing,
lit.
yeah.
And I love that chase at the end of the trailer where he turns around and do you know what? And he goes, what did he say?
He says, I thought we were in trouble there for a minute, but we're fine. We're fine. That there was a hint of Solo, but what I thought was good about that is that I've been worried about this guy's acting all the time, and you can't judge it from a trailer. But no, there was certainly the Han Solo swag. Yeah, there was certainly the Han Solo confidence in that little line with his little smile, and I thought, okay. Yeah, and do you know what? So anyway, after watching this, I figured they've got it wrong. You got it wrong. This film should have been about Lando. It should have been Lando Calrissian, and Han Solo just pops up. Okay.
That would have been a better. I would have taken that, and I would have been far more excited.
Cool. All right then. Well, I mean, it may be a Han and Lando film. It looks like it is. So I'm not really sure what to expect.
Cool, man.
Have you seen the sneak peeks of this new toy of it? Not the Lego version, but the actual Kenner, or not Kenner, Hasbro.
Have you seen the bit that comes out of the front?
Yeah. So
that looks like a little ship or something.
Yeah. So basically, the bit at the front, the extended bit, the point that's at the front of it, that is a detachable piece, and so it seems to be that they detach that, and then you get something that vaguely resembles the traditional Falcon. And then there's also on this toy, there's sections like all the paneling can be removed to reveal what we're used to seeing, the way the Falcon looks. Those kind of holes it's got in it. Those the bits that Chewie and Han stand in when they're working. Clever. So it looks like they basically completely stripped the ship down over the course of the next 10 years up to the lead up to.
Right,
A New Hope. If you look at the interior of it, everything is like got a soft white panel on it.
I need to know, because I haven't listened to the show that you and Raj did. I started to, and then I just this is how busy I've been.
You were like, I can't stand hearing someone sitting for me.
No, I literally haven't got time.
No, it's fine. It's cool. What were you going to ask us?
What did you talk about the interior?
Yeah, we briefly touched on it. We mentioned that it's obviously spotlessly clean, and I didn't even realise the floor of the Falcon was shiny. I just sort of like completely forgotten that. Well, if you look closely at the photos of them sitting in the... there's a famous photo that's out there of them sitting at that table. It looks like it's got yellow cushioning that's removable, but it basically looks as if everything the interior of the ship is quite luxurious, it would seem.
Okay, I've got another question for you. How old is Han Solo in A New Hope?
28.
Right. How old is he in this film?
It's believed to be about 23.
Right.
23, 22.
In 24, 25, 26, 27. Right. 4 years between this film and A New Hope then.
Yeah, about
based
that.
on age. Right?
Yeah.
That is a short amount of time to go from pristine Millennium Falcon to...
I reckon it gets flooded out with shit or something. Like, basically, they... I reckon it just gets absolutely... First of all, they take off all those white panels. If you look at the photo of the interior, it's absolutely covered in these white panels. They're all gone.
Why is that gone? Also, the interior in A New Hope.
Well, they've reversed it. I mean,
so bad.
Yeah, it's all like wires and stuff. Yeah.
The only reason for that
he's smoking 60 a day for the next 5 years to make it all like yellow.
He gets jiggy with it, with that Emilia Clarke girl.
Yeah.
In this shit.
Pops his load everywhere.
Dumps him.
Yeah.
She dumps him. He goes, oh, forget it. Chewie's like, for the next 4 years, going, come on, mate. It's all right. Just like, come on.
Come on, mate. Do the washing up. Yeah.
Like, do the washing up. He's like, no. He rolls over, goes to sleep again. It's a complete cackle bachelor pad.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I'm thinking it goes. Or the only other excuse is that they're flying through an asteroid field, go into a space slug, and the space slug digests it for 4 years, farts it out 4 years later, straight to Mos Eisley. That is the only explanation for the state of that ship.
I don't know.
A 4 year period. Mental.
It's crazy. They must be doing some really filthy stuff. That they're. It could be spice. You know, he smuggles spice.
Yeah.
That if it's anything like it is in like Dune, for example, so it's actually physically a powder, like a dust.
Yeah.
That could explain the staining.
Okay, cool. Because I know.
Think about it. It's like smoking, right? When everything leaves like a yellowy nicotine stain.
I know we're getting to the point, right?
Yeah.
Where, as fans, we want to know every single explanation, and to that point, it ruined The Last Jedi for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm actually of a mind now where I'm kind of chilled out about that stuff.
Right.
But this stuff, when there's logic involved. I want to see a scene where, he hand drops a box of spice and it ruins it.
Puff. Yeah, it goes up in the air or whatever.
What have you done? And Lando goes, oh, you can have it, mate. I don't want this.
I don't think it's Lando's ship. I don't think it's Lando's ship at all. I think it's stolen. I think it might even be...
Hey, what have you done to my ship?
Oh, yeah. True.
Your ship?
But he loses it in a card game, not in a race, 100%.
He loses it, but you've seen the still from the film of that game, right?
Yeah.
You've seen them playing cards?
Yeah, so that looks like that'll happen.
I imagine it to be like at the end of Rocky 3, where they're in the ring, and it's just the Millennium Falcon's in the background, but instead of a boxing match, it's a private betting game for the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
You want to do the Bell Apollo? Ding, ding, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's it. And they just touch gloves, don't they?
Okay, good.
It's like freeze frames, isn't it? Eye of the Tiger comes in,
I just I had to do it. As soon as you mentioned it, people were going, what is that? That's just noise. Mate, I don't know. I was not left feeling anything. I wasn't left with tingles, and I don't know whether that's my life as it is at the minute with the amount.
No, I wasn't either though. I wasn't either. There was no hairs or shivers and I certainly wasn't hairs. Like
just went bald.
There was no excitement. Like, I'm not like squealing up, jumping up and down. Can't wait for
still using Gillette Mac 3. Forget that. Just watch the Solo trailer.
Yeah,
bald as a coot.
Well, so it hasn't upped my excitement for the film, but it comes out. We'll go and see it on opening day. Of course, we'll give our live reaction like we did with The Last Jedi. Straight after that, the showing as well.
Do you know what I want? I want it to blow your mind to the point where you have to go into contemplation mode. You have to go away, and you have to come out 5 days later, and you have to look me in the eye, and you go, "That's the best Star Wars film I've ever seen."
It won't be that.
I would want that to
It
happen.
won't be that.
I would want that to happen.
There's not even a lightsaber fight in the film, as far as we're aware. So I don't think it's possible. Can't be done. Can't be done. Onto the subject of George Lucas returning to the franchise.
Yeah, I heard about it.
So basically, him and Ron Howard go back a long way.
American
a long
Graffiti,
way.
right?
Yeah, American Graffiti. Anyway, they are good friends. He comes by the studio and apparently he spends 5 hours there. And in that time, he basically gave Ron a load of advice. Now, personally, if you're directing a fucking Star Wars film and George Lucas you'll be like, oh, fucking hell, like, I've been ignoring his calls, I've been avoiding answering the calls, and he's turned up. Yeah. He'll come in and he'll be like, why have you built the Falcon? Why have you bothered building it? Because you don't need to do this anymore. Yeah.
He was there for 5 hours.
5 hours, and he apparently directed the fucking scene in the Falcon, so... I mean, whether or not that will make the cut, we'll see. It'll be hilarious if he just kind of like, just to humour him. Yeah, just to humour him. So I think they were just humouring him, to be quite honest, but maybe he directed a couple of lines. I'd love to know what went on. Okay, guys, can we have a little bit of quiet on the set? We're preparing to do scene 37 again. Alden, if you've got any problems with the dialogue this time, just give me a shout. I can come over and do it again with you, no problem. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I forgot to turn my phone on silent again. Oh my God, it's George. God, man, I've been screening these calls. Guys, rang 20 times now. Straight to voicemail. It's okay. Give him a call back later.
That's okay. We'll go again right away.
So Alden, if you in your own time, man, when just when you think the beat's right, hang on a minute. Oh no, got Kathy on the phone. Kathy, hi. What? He's here? He's outside? Oh my God! I've been screening his calls. I've just been avoiding it. I mean, I knew he was going to do this, but I didn't think he was going to turn up. I just... shit. We're just in the middle. We're doing 37. I can't... I really can't. We could break for lunch in maybe 2 hours, but... Can you hold him off? Okay, see you in 5. Guys, we're gonna have to break early. I think got George Lucas gonna be popping in. He wants to have a look around the set. Not really the right time. Oh, hi, Ron. Oh, hey, George. George, how you doing? I'm good. I haven't seen you in ages. How's it been? I've been trying to phone you all day. I've been 20 messages now. 20 messages at least. You changed your number or something? No. I maybe speak to my PA. Maybe she'll you get my emails. No, I've just been so busy. Yeah, I remember when I was making the first one. It was so busy. Yeah. I don't even look at my phone anymore these days. Really, I just so busy in the new picture. We done the Falcon here and made it all clean. I've never seen it all clean in my life. It doesn't look quite right though, does it? Well, this too shiny. My taste. Well, it looks like this because it's like new. It's straight out of the showroom. Okay. I mean, like. Okay. Look at the way everything's all white. Apple Store. I didn't really get a say in that. Where I came on board quite late. I don't know if you know. Two directors that lost their jobs. Yeah. So I kind of I'm here to sort of finish the picture now because they're running out of money and time, and it's over schedule, and I'm very short of time, and we're right in the middle of recording a scene actually. So if we could, I'd love to stay and watch. If you, well, you can hang around if you want, I suppose. Yeah, that'd be great. Let me know if you think anything's going. Sure. This is Alden. Hi, I'm George Lucas. So he's our new Captain Solo. Well, I can see who you're supposed to be, but your costume's all wrong. But you do look like Harrison Ford, though. He does look like Harrison, yes. Doesn't sound like him very much, but never mind. No, I didn't. No, that's not an insult. Not an insult. I think it's important for him to be different. Okay, so we're going over 37 again, and you've got the window there. You've got no green outside. No, well, actually, how are you going to do the stars? Well, it's front projection. So when we jump to light speed in this scene, you know, we can all see that happening for real, and then the light comes through the glass, and it just really brings the scene to life, you know. Sounds expensive. Would have been a lot cheaper to do it, you know, with CGI afterwards in post-production. I know it seems a bit old-fashioned now, but it actually is quite effective when you see the final picture. Okay, so everybody can just, like, hey, George, you want to call action on this? Yeah, sure, that'd be fun. Yeah, go for it, man. Let's just, scene 37, okay, George, and action.
I thought we were in trouble there for a second, but it's fine. It's fine.
And cut. Yeah, great take, Alden. I'd say this time, do it again, but faster and more intense, please.
Okay, whatever you say, George. Yeah, no worries.
Action.
I thought we were in trouble there for a second, but it's fine. It's fine.
And once again, please, Alden, a little bit more faster, a little bit more intense. And action.
I thought we were in trouble there for a second, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yes, we're getting there now, but again, faster and more intense, please. And wait for it. And action.
I thought we were in trouble there for a second, but it's fine. It's fine.
And cut. That was the one, Alden. Well done. And you know what? I think at that moment, when he says that line, Chewbacca should fart.
You'll never guess what I saw this week.
What?
Right? He's only going to be directing a standalone film.
Fucking hell.
All right, but guess what one?
Right. I don't know. Obi Wan.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
He's directing the Obi Wan film. Is that official?
Yeah. If you go to MovieWeb,
right,
you can find it there. Obi Wan movie planning 2019 shooting Ireland. George Lucas directing. Right. George Lucas is over there. At the minute. Is scouting. He's looking at actors and all that.
He hasn't learned a thing though. He hasn't learned.
I know, but this is the thing.
Do you think Disney are going to fire him though? You know, they'll have that. They won't let him just go nuts like he did. They're not the yes men like Rick McCallum.
Do you know what? Because it's George Lucas, they can't fire him. They'd have to. What they'd have to do is they'd have to just massage his ego to the point where he agrees, because otherwise you can't destroy the maker.
This is the film without a doubt, which everybody, you know, this is the kind of that Obi-Wan film has so much riding on it. Everybody's really excited for that one.
Well, everyone wants it, especially the prequel lovers, because I like the idea. You know those films where you're trapped in one space, for a long time, and
like Reservoir Dogs. Yeah, it's all it takes place in one room. You mean more or less? Yeah,
or like Die Hard, where you're in one building, that sort of thing. They're so good because the intensity, the emotion, the drama, and the bloody hell, there's literally no escape.
Yeah,
they're great, and I'd love to see that similar sort of shoot on a Star Wars film where it just takes place purely on Tatooine.
Yeah,
maybe you don't even go into space. It's you still got Star Wars stuff. You still got the aliens. You got the lightsaber. You got the Force. You got all of that. That you don't ever leave the planet.
Yeah, I understand.
It'd be a really interesting sort of take on.
What would be really interesting is to see an unmasked Tusken Raider. See what they're like without the mask on, because that would be really. I've seen Obi-Wan, cartoons and stuff.
There's a legend that Obi Wan sleeps with one and shacks up.
Isn't that like they're not human? You know, they're like, I don't know what they are, but they're not human. You've heard the fucking sound those things make. That's interracial, interspecial sex.
Yeah, well, I read that this. It was like Dances with Wolves, where there's this human that gets like taken into the Tusken Raiders camp,
right?
And she becomes like one of them,
right?
And
okay.
Obi-Wan like does his dragon voice, and she goes, "Oh, hello,
yeah,
cheeky," and he goes over and asks her out, and I'm like, Obi Wan, you need to pipe down, bruv.
Well, I hope that's not the main plot of this movie. That'll be disappointing if it is.
I'd like to see Qui-Gon Jinn and all that crap again.
Right, just a hand service for the prequel boys.
Yeah, well, yeah, why not?
Okay.
Yeah, I just my fear with that is that it would just be CGI'd to the max.
If it's George Lucas, it will,
to prove a point as well. Not for anything else, but just to prove a point.
Well, look, the CGI is way better than it was back then.
Yeah, but it will age.
So it will.
Age.
Yeah, but can you really say that the final fight sequence in Rogue One that takes place on Scarif, which is about 90% CGI, is going to age? Because it just looks
But their art direction, and the clever thing about the art direction of that CGI was that it was based and made to look like model ships.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You couldn't tell whether it was a model ship or not. It's very clever.
I just hope he's learnt his lesson, but I'm very disappointed to hear that George Lucas will be directing that film, and that's really taken the wind out of my sails. But I need to look up that article and find out more about this island.
Happy Monday.
Oh, thank you, mate. Thank you very much. Yeah. Well, I want to talk about big bit of news. Oscar nominations. It's Oscar season. I've got the Oscar fever. Hope you got it too. That's a little reference to Tim Heidecker's on Cinema at the Cinema. Do check that out. It's fucking hysterical. Oscars. Star Wars: The Last Jedi is down for 4 nominations. Yeah. Okay. Sound editing, sound mixing, best original score, and visual effects. Now, of
so
3 of those,
no one really cares about. Go on.
Yeah. Of those, 3 of them, it's up against Blade Runner 2049. Okay, sound editing, Blade Runner 2040, it's against that. It's against Blade Runner 2049 in sound mixing, sound editing, and visual effects. Now, personally, I don't know if you haven't seen Blade Runner 2049, have you? Personally, hands down, all 3 of them are going to Blade Runner 2049. It was absolutely visually stunning and audibly stunning as well. The sound effects in that film were so impressive. But in like a film like The Last Jedi, you're using a load of sound effects that were made decades ago that are being recycled yet again.
Yeah.
And I just don't think it shouldn't have even been nominated, really, because I don't know. But
the thing is, if you're to be honest, if you're not a sci-fi film and you're in that category, you haven't got any chance at all.
No.
What sound effects? She walked down the street, splashed her foot in a puddle.
Yeah.
They need to calm down. They're pushing the boat out way
too far.
the
sound design work on Star Wars was absolutely groundbreaking anyway, and I'm pretty sure the Star Wars films in the past have won Oscars for...
Well, that was Ben Burt, right?
Ben Burt, have won. I think they've won awards for that in the past. I'm not 100% sure about that. I'm almost certain that Star Wars did win some Oscars, the original one, including one for sound design. But the other thing is the original score. And again, it's up against Phantom Thread, which is Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead's score. Now, I saw Phantom Thread last month, and it's a beautiful, fantastical, muted piano score. It's absolutely sweeping. It marries up to the film perfectly. And again, I don't think it stands a chance in that category either.
So basically, Star Wars is screwed without Alec Guinness.
yeah. It's exactly. I think good luck at it. It's great that Star Wars has been nominated in those 4 categories, but I think people are getting really excited about this. I don't think it's got a fucking hope in hell, because Blade Runner 2049 was the far superior film in every respect.
I need to see this film now.
Oh man, fuck it, it's a treat for the eyes, a feast for the eyes. Yeah, do it. And talking of Blade Runner 49, Paul Inglis, he's the art director of Blade Runner 49. He's also worked on Skyfall, Game of Thrones, Prometheus, Children of Men, and Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation. He's been hired as the art director for Episode 9.
Oof.
Now, if you Google like Blade Runner 2049 and just have a look at some of the landscapes in this movie, and also just the look of the interiors and the lived-in world, the heavily lived-in post-apocalyptic kind of landscapes, of a future world that is so smoky and polluted you wouldn't even believe that it's Las Vegas. Halfway through the movie, they travel there, but it doesn't say we're going to Las Vegas. It's only near the end of the movie you realise where they actually are. They're in Las Vegas. Oh, wow. And there's all these great big abandoned casinos and all this kind of stuff. So the visions in those in that movie is so cool. I'm very excited to see he apply himself to the Star Wars universe. It's going to be magical.
It'd be nice to get some nice texture on that trilogy, especially if J.J. Abrams is directing it again, because it's like,
yep.
Abrams had some nice shots. I don't think it was as visually as stunning as The Last Jedi. My sister, who hates Star Wars, she didn't like Episode 7 because she said it was cheesy and too colourful.
Right.
And when I think about the film Episode 7, Force Awakens, all I've got in my head is that stupid poster that they designed.
Yeah.
It was like a 12-year-old had done it in Photoshop.
Yeah, all brightly coloured.
Awful.
In fact, the Last Jedi one isn't much better, really. It's just this tower of people, you know. They write themselves, those posters.
That's just like, if I was in charge of that art department and someone produced that piece of cack, I'd say, here's your P45, you're sacked.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Get out.
That was a sackable offence, that design. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a joke poster when I saw it.
I'd like them to go back. Do you remember the controversy where they, for the Chinese version of the poster, it wasn't Chinese, sorry, it might have been Japan. Anyway, it was an Asian country. I can't remember where it was. So they really shrank down Finn and really tucked him at the back. But it was everyone was like, "Whoa, you're whitewashing this poster." Basically, yeah. They totally were guilty as hell of doing that. Yeah, hiya. But Paul Inglis, if you do look at his art, you'll notice it does have a striking resemblance to Ralph McQuarrie. So he's very much inspired by this.
Is he creative director then? Because it was Doug Chang.
He's art director now. Okay. So he's basically the McQuarrie of this ninth film, and I cannot wait to see what he does. There's also a new one of McQuarrie's unused designs for a Star Destroyer is going to appear in the new Han Solo film. It's got massive satellite dishes all over it. Yeah.
It does look crap.
It looks like a weird. Yeah, it looks like a weird kind of crucifix. Think of a really early
thing you'd find in like a 1950s TV set. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like an old Star Trek or Blake Seven even. It does look like something like that.
The weapon is like some sort of sound wave.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's some sort of spying Star Destroyer,
vessel.
Some sort of vessel.
Stealthy.
Yes, heavily used for spying, listening on conversations, all that kind of thing. I mean, presumably that's what the big radars are for. Or maybe it's a bit like the tower from Rogue One, that it can transmit huge files through space and whatever. That's pretty cool if it's anything like that. I got a little story for you, mate. Get your head around this, right?
Go on.
I'm all over the vintage collecting. Well, I used to be anyway, but I keep a good eye on it.
You got nothing going on now, mate.
I know. I've got a
Your
fucking
credentials are shot.
Oh, mate, I've got nothing left. I've got my X-wing miniatures because I still like to play X-wing, but that's pretty much it. I mean, my house has been stripped of all. I've got the Star Wars posters. I've still got all the books, but it's just all the toys are gone. They're all sold. But anyway, I managed to pay an enormous tax bill. So hooray! It was all worth it. It all went to the fucking Inland Revenue or whatever they're called now. HMRC. Her Majesty's Customs and Exiles.
Gunning.
Yes. So get this. I'm a member of the forum Echo Base. It's a Facebook group where Echo Base Vintage, where people trade and deal and share information about vintage toys. Some guy goes on there the other night. I'm not going to say his name, but if you look him up, you can find. If you look up the post, you can probably find it.
Yeah.
He goes on there and he says this. he's gone and bought a vintage playset. He didn't say which one. I'm guessing it's probably the Death Star Palatoy playset because of something that's coming up. A clue in there. Anyway, he's bought a vintage playset sealed from a dealer. Okay. Right. He's opened it. He's opened it and discovered there's a part inside that's cracked. And he's basically going, this dealer won't give me my money back. It's like, well, hang on a minute.
Well, you've opened it.
Wait, yeah, first of all, back that up. You've bought a fucking sealed vintage Star Wars playset from the 1970s.
Yeah.
It's sealed with a piece of sticky tape that's 40 years old.
Yeah.
That is priceless. And you cut that open to get it out, to take it to bits. And then while doing that, you discovered that this piece of plastic or whatever was cracked. Now... Yeah. He then thinks that's the problem of the seller. So he's also accusing the seller of knowing the piece was cracked.
Right, X-ray vision.
Yeah, exactly. So I got into a fight with this guy. I'm saying, like, it's ridiculous.
Mate,
why did you open it in the first fucking place? And secondly, how on earth did you think how do you explain that the dealer knew that the part was cracked? And also, why would it be the dealer's problem? The problem is with the manufacturer. And you know what? Newsflash.
40 years ago.
Kenner and Palatoy don't exist anymore. Yeah, so good luck writing to them and getting your money back for that.
So,
what a bellend.
Basically...
You know why he opened it?
Go on.
So he could display it. It's like, why don't you just fucking buy a second-hand one that's already been opened and display that, and then keep the mint condition sealed one?
What he's done is he's ruined that mint condition for everyone.
Yeah, exactly, because there's a finite number of them in the world, those play sets. There's a very finite number of them that are actually sealed.
Endangered species, mate. It's the equivalent of an ivory poacher. Just going around.
People
like,
were
like
just
he's like that
furious
pleb, that
at this
dentist.
guy.
Do you remember that dentist a few years ago that shot? What was he shot that lion or something?
Oh,
and
yeah.
it had a net. And it had a name and everything.
Yeah.
And he just like smiling to the camera. What a knob! But yeah.
Some people, some people just want to watch the world burn. They're literally buying vintage. I was saying, if anybody's got anyone's got any double telescopic mint condition on card Star Wars figures, that are worth thousands, let that guy know, because he wants to rip them open and put them on display in his cabinet of loose figures.
Mate, I've got something to send you later, man.
Yeah. What's this?
It's this. It's not newsworthy. It's not a story. It's not even worth mentioning on the podcast. It's probably more of a personal thing that I'll just send you.
Okay.
It's this guy watching the trailer.
Yeah.
For, I think it's Force Awakens, and he's got all his vintage stuff in the background. He gets so excited. He gets so excited to the point where he's crying. He rips open some of the vintage characters and starts mouthing them. Right, shoving them down his pants and all sorts, right? And then he realises what he's done, and it is incredible. Maybe we'll put that on our Instagram account.
Do you remember when they did when the new iPhones get released? There's always a prankster who goes in the queue. He queues up for days. He goes and buys a brand new iPhone 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
Comes out the shop and then he just smashes it on the street in front of everybody all queuing up.
No, there was two versions of that. Right? There was one. There's one pleb. He'd been standing outside Apple store in Sydney for 5 weeks camping. Yeah. Camping. He wanted to. I think it was like
Camp Lando.
Yeah. He wanted to get the 7.
Yeah.
And he was there for weeks and weeks and weeks. And this film crew came down for the news, and he was the first in. They watched him buy it, and he was the first in the world in Sydney to get this phone.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, will you unbox it for us on the street?" Right?
Yeah.
He's got shaky hands. He's loving it. He could see this has been his dream for the last 5 weeks.
Yeah.
He finally opens the box, phone slides out, screen smashes everywhere. back to the end of the line.
Great.
But he couldn't afford it. Why is that? Oh, because I quit my job to queue. Right.
Oh,
idiot.
you fucking twat.
So, but then you get these other like I don't know what they are. They like wannabe journalists, so they have to go for like shock factor stories to get.
It's really
famous.
popular now on YouTube, like doing like clickbait, like that Paul Logan or Logan Paul or whatever his bloody name is. It's just
23-year-old that looks about 30.
Yeah, but people who are doing stuff for shock value simply for YouTube hits. People are fucking swallowing dishwasher tablets in America.
Oh man,
they're fucking swallowing dishwasher tablets to get hits. Have you seen the one where the guy plasters his head into a microwave? He fills a microwave with plaster of Paris.
Right.
Or decorator's plaster or something like that, like polyfiller basically. He puts a tube. He puts a tube in his mouth, and he fills this whole microwave with polyfiller. He stands upside down and puts his head into the microwave, and then
does he turn it on?
No. It's disconnected. It's disconnected, right. And then he's got this microwave on his head, and it's obviously rock solid. Then and the plaster hardens, and then he realizes he can't breathe. He can't get out. He has to call emergency services. So the fire brigade come round.
Why does he hold the phone up to the side of the microwave and start talking to it? How does he phone the emergency services?
No, but his friends did it for him.
Right, okay, fine.
The tube basically in his mouth got blocked up, and it couldn't come out. Anyway, so the fire brigade came over with all their cutting equipment to get people out of cars, and they're cutting this microwave off him. Anyway, but even just talking about this, we're kind of giving this wanker publicity, but it made the news, and he wasn't even apologetic. Because he's like wasting the fucking the ambulance service and the fire service's time.
They should have just let him die, because that's a sort of nonsense. We don't need people in the world like that. What the hell is that? If Star Wars aliens came down now and surveyed the Earth, and they saw that, they'd just go, not even worth it, mate.
It could be worse. In the 70s, they sent I think it was the 50s, in fact, they sent a dog. Russians sent a dog called Laika into space in a little spaceship, and it got burnt up when it came down. Brilliant. Sadly. But if the aliens have found him, they would have assumed that Earth was ruled by dogs. It would be like a weird Planet of the Apes style. They'd be like, "This is we're wasting our time here, lads. This fucking."
Do you know what? This is the problem, mate. This is the world we're living in now. You got people like years ago. What do you want to be? I want to be an actor.
Yeah.
Like, why? Because do you know what? I'm passionate about this art form. I love the history of it. Everything about it is just. I just want to do it.
Yeah.
What do you want to be? I want to be a singer. Like what kind of singer? Do you know what? I don't care even if you don't like my music. I'm making this music for me, and I've got right now. What do you want to be? Famous. Sorry.
Yeah.
What? I just want to be famous. Right. What? Okay. Got any talent? No.
Like us, mate. We're famous for no reason.
We're not. No, we're not famous at all.
We
just do this because we talk about Star Wars all the time.
At what point? At what point? How long do we have to do Blah Wars for before we qualify to go on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here or Celebrity Big Brother?
As soon as this morning start calling us up and saying, "Do you want to do a segment?"
Oh, that'd be great. Would you be up for that? Go and speak to Holly and Phil.
Yeah. At what point for hits are we swallowing washing up tablets?
On the next episode of Blah Wars, Jude is going to eat a washing up tablet.
Have you got any? You got any news? No.
Finish.
You got anything to say about Star Wars? No. And what have you done there? Oh, I see you've etched the Millenium Falcon out of that Tide tablet. So it's got a Star Wars spin on it, and now I'm going to swallow it. And we're doing it via Skype, so I see you.
You know what we should do? No, you know what we should do? You know what we should do? Because it looks like blue milk, we should drink Fabric Soft now because it looks.
I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be.
That's what we should do. We should do it just to get a load of copycats in America and decrease our audience slowly by getting our fans to copy us and
yeah.
We'll get rid of the stupid ones.
I'm sure
all of our listeners are very clever people. We know that. We're just playing when we said that.
Well, of course, that's why they listen to the show, because they get our dry wit.
Talking of fame and glory, I just want to plug this. I've been a podcast whore this week, mate. I've been bending over with my.
Oh, I've dropped my phone.
I've been bending over with my buttocks splayed open, and I've been
image to think about.
Orgying it up with a chap named Hayden, and basically this week, Gribble.
No offense. I mean, I haven't got a second name to boast about, but that's ridiculous. Gribble. Hayden Gribble.
Hayden Gribble. It's better than gay, mate. It's better than Jude Gay. Okay.
Homo.
Listen, I bet he didn't get taken the piss out of at school though. So, with Hayden Gribble. Look, Hayden Gribble is the host of Podcasters Royale. It's a James Bond podcast, and what we do is every month or so, they go into great detail about one of the classic James Bond films. And I've done a few episodes with him in the past. I think I've done like 3 in total. But the latest episode that's out now, it features me talking with Hayden and his mate about Goldfinger. So if you're one of the best Bond films, case, right?
Brownfinger. So.
Hey, it's one of the best Bond films. It was an absolute pleasure to be on the show, and just want to say thanks to Hayden for having me on, and check it out after. If you've got nothing to listen to after this episode of Blah Wars, why don't you give it a go? Right. That's my plug done.
Keep it here, Blah Wars.
Keep it Blah Wars. We've got like 32 other episodes of this show, plus all the commentaries as well. Yeah. Oh man, when are we going to do when is the Blu-ray coming for The Last Jedi? When are we going to do the commentary?
March.
All right. It's going to be done.
I'm not doing a pirate video on that.
No.
Blu-ray. I'm thinking about. Do you know what? I'm thinking about saving up for a 4K.
Yeah, I've been thinking this too. You know, I love my Blu-rays and all that. So,
oh, look at that.
Oh, mate, a lovely can of 1664
from Polly's mum.
Oh, bless her. Well,
amazing.
Great timing.
Beautiful.
To toast the end of the show. Have you got anything else to talk about this week?
End of the show?
Well,
43 minutes.
We've got more stuff you want to talk about?
I had a dream about Star Wars, and I've never had that before.
Oh, when The Last Jedi was coming, I was dreaming about Star Wars every night, mate. I was going to bed, waking up with a sticky duvet,
You haven't even seen the film.
Yeah.
Heck. Have you? I was going to ask. Have you ever had a Star Wars dream before? Because this is a new one for me.
All the time. I always dream about Star. I dream that I've seen Star Wars, or I dream that I've seen the new movie. Like I dream that I've been watching it, and then I come out with all these ideas. Like I some of the stuff we talked about, my ideas for it came from dreams about seeing that film. I got really excited in the build up to The Last Jedi, and I just started dreaming about Star Wars. So You had a Star Wars dream.
It was so surreal. It was so surreal. So I didn't know what I was in, to be honest. It started, I was just falling. And then this light is coming towards me, and when you feel your stomach going.
Poltergeist or something. Stay away from the light.
I realise it's Coruscant.
Right.
So, but I'm going for ages.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this capsule opens, I look up, it's a yellow Naboo starfighter, and that just is falling behind me, and then I don't know where that's gone. And then I'm just falling, and it's non-stop, and I'm just looking around, and I'm in Coruscant, and I keep going, and the ground's not getting any closer and closer and closer.
Right.
And then, out of nowhere, lightsabers. And then that was it, I woke up.
Wow. Well, if there's any analysts out there,
the thing is,
I want to break that down.
There was no story to it.
No,
it was like one of those. When you feel like you're falling and you wake up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, you jump.
And your stomach's like in your
yeah.
It was one of those.
Yeah.
But it was just it wasn't Star Wars, but then it was, and it was just weird. It was like, is there some sort of kind of psychology thing that we could look into?
Well, I don't know about the stuff you described there, but that falling thing.
Yeah.
If you dream that you're falling around like 2 a.m., if let's just say you go to bed about 10 o'clock,
yeah.
Right, around 2-3 a.m. in the morning, you're your deepest point of sleep.
Yeah.
If you in your dream then fall at that point in the sleep, you're likely to die.
Really?
In your sleep, yeah. Unless I've completely misremembered that. That is the truth.
That does ring a bell.
You can actually die in your sleep at that point because the shock of it.
It was
rock
funny
your
'cause I
body.
looked over and Polly had a pillow standing over me with a pillow. I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" That didn't happen. That wouldn't happen.
Pressed over your face.
No, but it was a weird one, but it was so vivid, it stuck with me.
I usually forget dreams unless I write them down really quickly when I get out of bed, unless I actually read them in my phone or something like that, because I'll forget.
Mate, I've had dreams where I've been emotional and a mouse has died in my dream. Like a pet mouse has died that I made up in my dream.
Yeah.
And it stuck with me for the whole day. In fact, I had to go and have a moment under a tree and just think about the mouse. Give it a minute's silence.
Have you ever recorded yourself asleep? Like there's a great app called Sleep
weird.
Talk. You turn it on. You put the phone by your bed at night.
Yeah.
You go to sleep and it's got a timer and it starts recording you in about an hour. But it doesn't record all night. It listens out for noise and then starts recording when it hears noise. And in the morning you get like a 3-minute recording of the night's speech. You go back and play it back. It's fucking hysterical. Just like all kinds of things. Like it's just that with me, I like sleep talking. It's like all kind of. It doesn't make any noise.
I know that because when I stayed around your house, and you went to me. Oh, by the way, sometimes I do some weird stuff in my sleep.
Yeah.
I'm going, what? So I've tightened my belt 3 notches for a start. It's a good starting point, isn't it?
Yeah. Right. Lock the door, with a big
I
plank.
couldn't. Mate, I thought it was snoring. And I went to the toilet, and then you were talking to yourself.
Right.
And I called up the stairs, John. You're right, mate. Nothing. It was like John Merrick on that last scene where you finally put your head down to lay down on the pillow. It was scary. And then I couldn't sleep after that. You were scaring the hell out of me.
Mate, I didn't even know about that. I've been told by girlfriends in the past that I've just freaked out, or sometimes I've jumped out of bed and screamed and gone shit, we've got to get out of here now. I'm absolutely convinced we're under attack or something. Usually it's kind of nonsensical. I love a bit of cheese before bed. She's spitting his beer everywhere. No, it's really weird the stuff I get up to in my sleep. I stayed around my mate's flat about a year ago, and he had 2 sofas, and they're at right angles to each other in his living room. And I'm laying on, let's call it sofa number 1. On sofa number 2, there's my coat, and there's all other maybe a blanket I think that I didn't need was on there and everything like that. And I went to bed on his sofa. Now I had been drinking, okay, so me and him have been drinking quite a lot of gin tonic, and I might have also been slightly high. Anyway,
I think I know who this is, but go on.
I remember vaguely in the morning. I woke up and I'm on sofa 1, okay, the one that I wasn't sleeping on. I'm on top of all the other things. And I was like, all right, mate, how'd you get on? He's like, yeah, do you remember last night? What? I said, did I talk to you in the night? And he goes, yeah, you walked into my bedroom. and I was like,
weird,
all right, mate. And I was wandering around his house in the middle of the night. And I'd walked into his room and woke him up. Wow. But yeah, thankfully, I've never actually left the house or done anything like that while I'm asleep, because I'd be really fucked.
That's a mixture of having drink in your system and doing stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So there was sorry, this is no Star Wars chat.
That's all right. It's good. So it's interesting.
There's a guy that I used to know. I won't say any names. I still know him. If he's listening, he'll know exactly who he is.
Yeah.
2 stories from him. He was so wasted on a train. He fell asleep on the train. Gets out. He's at his stop. He gets out. He's still asleep but drunk.
Whoa!
Manages to, but the thing is, he's walking down the motorway. Right?
Shit.
Yeah, just wandering down the motorway, but he knows where he's going.
Yeah.
He gets to his house.
Yeah.
Gets his key out. Key's not working in the lock. He's going, oh bloody hell. Scratching the lock again. It's still not working. Tries another key. Still not working.
Yeah.
He goes around the back to climb up the wall, walk along the garage roof.
Yeah.
into his bedroom window.
It's like Marty McFly coming back.
Does it?
Yeah.
Windows open. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
Falls through the garage roof onto a Porsche or some posh car, he didn't tell me, that wasn't his. He sobers up and realised he moved house 2 weeks ago.
Oh my God.
Think of that.
Yeah, shit.
So I said that was lucky escape than climbing into.
Yeah, if you climbed it and there was like a little girl in there or whatever,
Yeah,
like you
just
got
weird.
God. Yeah.
So and that was it. So then the other time he did that was he went out with his girlfriend, got absolutely wasted, went into the cab, fell asleep. They went back to her parents' house. Now her parents were on holiday. They went up. They said, "Oh, we'll just sleep in my mum and dad's bed." He gets up, forgets where he was, thinks he's in the toilet, stands up, just wheezes all over her.
Oh my God.
She wakes up to just
being
yellow
pissed all
water.
over. Yeah.
Oh
my God.
All over her parents' bed as well, and it stank apparently when they come back.
Oh my God.
And she stayed with him. That's a sackable offence.
That's love. That's love, you know.
What is love? Weed on your girlfriend's face in your parents' bed.
Have you
This
got
is
any
just
more?
diverged. This is like a normal chat down a pub. If you're wondering what it's like to be mates with me and John as friends, and we meet up for a beer, this is the kind of nonsense that we talk about.
And then we'll be arguing about something, and it'll just be someone will come over and they realise it's just Star Wars. It's just we're just talking about some fucking Star Wars thing.
I've got nothing. This Star Wars is pretty light at the moment.
I know, mate. Well, we've done
I'll
a
be
good
honest,
show,
I'm like-
to be quite honest.
I am in so much work zone action at the minute. I get up earlier,
Yeah.
get into work earlier.
Yeah.
Head is down, and I come home, and by the time I'm home, I just want to go sleep, get the next day out. I've got another 3 weeks of this thing that I'm on. And then it's going to be, I can get back into some comics and Rebels and all of that stuff. So
Oh, man. Yeah, so Rebels is coming to an end this season. Are we
I know,
on the
and I'm,
last
like,
bit
really
now?
We are. I've watched the first episode of this season.
Yeah.
And then that's all I've had time for. So I'm kind of like fingers in the ears. The trouble is, I can't catch the episodes on Disney XD, and there's something wrong with my Skybox. So I can't record the damn things.
Right.
So I've fixed that, and I've got them all recorded. I watched one episode, and now I'm like so behind, and I'm seeing little snippets on Facebook and whatnot, and I'm like, oh, I just don't want to know what's going on. But yeah, man.
Okay, well, I hope it comes to a satisfying conclusion for everybody. Obviously, there'll be more animated series in the pipeline, I'm sure. Something else is coming soon. They'll be doing Star Wars. Oh, God, the next couple of years are going to be oversaturation. Which
13 years, apparently.
Yeah,
So,
I talked about this with Raj last week. We're really... if we can get... we can have a maximum of 1,000 episodes. No, in fact, 999, because that's the maximum you can do on iTunes. So we could, I mean, that'll take us like 30 years to do. So we're not going to be doing that for that long. We'll never get to 999, but we'll see. We'll see how far we get.
We have to do a new channel called Blow Wars 2.
Yeah, Blow Wars Extra.
Before we wrap this up, did you guys talk about Tesla last week and the car in space?
No.
SpaceX?
No, didn't talk about that. Well, I know about it, but
we're
why?
Getting closer to some sort of Star Wars world.
Well,
that sort of stuff happening.
Yeah, I mean, space travel is like that is the future of getting from like London to New York rapidly, quickly, isn't it? Within like an hour or something like that, which is amazing.
Well, that's like Hyperloop stuff.
But also now we're talking about people colonising Mars. People are being selected to go and live on Mars like for the rest of their life.
Right,
they will die there.
Now you're onto it. Now you're onto the question I wanted to ask you.
Yeah,
right?
the colony in space.
It's Let's say you're picked. You're picked by NASA.
Yeah.
Right.
Do I get a choice?
No, you're picked.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. You've got your Star Wars knowledge is worth going into this colony.
Right. So I am the Star Wars resident expert of Mars.
6 of you going. You got to pick 5 other people.
Oh fuck.
To go with. Who you go with? I asked this to my other half after seeing that SpaceX thing going.
Yeah.
She was coming out with some right old nonsense. I said, "Who are you taking?" She went, Bruce Forsyth. I went, well,
he's
why?
dead.
He's dead. She went,
corpse
entertainment
of-
value.
Okay.
That
He
that
wouldn't
was
pass the
level.
medical
That
on
was
the count that
yeah,
he's dead.
That was the level, right?
Okay, all right.
So I wanted to see what you'd.
I'm taking the comedian Stuart Lee, whether he likes it or not.
Right, okay,
because
brilliant. So for why? What's he going to do on this planet? That's going to.
First of all, he's got a fantastic knowledge of like pop culture, film, music, art, all kinds of things. He's got an encyclopedic knowledge of all that kind of stuff, and
so he's the preservation of human culture.
Yes, definitely, absolutely. He's the king of culture, right. And he's also a comedian. And he's very, very funny.
No
he has
audience up there though.
No
so
audience, but
him, and it will take 10 years to get to Mars on a little.
That's fine. That's fine because he can talk to us about like Norse poetry or something like that. So it'll be he can talk to us about the free jazz movement or something. Stuart Lee, the comedian.
Second one.
Next person I will be bringing up is
Jordan.
No, fucking hell. Last person I want to be stuck in space with. Jeanette Cranky from the Crankies. No, not really. Imagine wee Jimmy Cranky with you in space. Right. I would bring Julia Davis. She's a comedian. You'll know her from Nighty Night and various BBC and Sky comedy shows. Hunderby, Camping. She's an amazing writer. She's married to Julian Barrett in real life. I think I'm just going to populate the entire crew with comedians, but she's the funniest woman alive, and I think she needs to be on board.
Comedians on a flight. You go in there, you land. None of you don't know what you're doing. You can't. There's no agriculture. You don't know how to plant crops.
Stuart Lee will have that knowledge. We just crack open his head and get that out. Why am I going? I mean, like, I would need someone to tend to me, like, sexually. So I would need to bring
Julian Clary.
Maybe. I'll bring. I'm about to bring an animal, a dog. Not for the sex. No. Just saying, like a Labrador would be nice.
Link.
Take a nice Labrador up there. No, I didn't mean that. You were talking about like
whatever.
Okay. I'm not sure. Mark Gatiss. The also a comedian and one fourth of the League of Gentlemen. He's got a fantastic knowledge of old horror films, and while I can't watch horror films because there's no televisions or anything, he can at least tell me like bedtime stories. So he can go like, and this one's called Bride of Dracula or whatever, and he can read out these old Hammer horror films for me.
Yeah.
Be great, mate. Be wonderful. He's a great storyteller as well. I would probably bring Daisy Ridley along because she's so good at doing everything in the Star Wars films that I reckon she could do all that.
Okay, whatever.
Who else?
Theresa May.
No, I wouldn't bring Theresa May. Definitely not. Don't want to be stuck with her.
Angela Merkel.
What's she gonna do? Make fucking sauerkraut or something? I mean. Oh, Rick Stein, the TV chef Rick Stein. He's a fucking amazing. His taste in food is exactly like mine. He
fish. He does a lot of
fish. He loves
fish. Is there fish on Mars?
No, but I'm guessing there'll be something that's like everything smells like. There's always something that smells like fish. So if it smells like fish, chances are you can probably eat it like fish.
That's probably Angela Merkel. Right. On that note,
we'll try and keep bringing you a show every week, guys. It's sometimes it's not easy, but we're living in a wonderful age where there's Star Wars news. Also, we do need to go and do the A New Hope read through as well. And for that, I think we should get a couple more people on the show and see if we can. Maybe get a lady on this show to do all the Princess Leia voices and stuff as well.
You've met him, this guy called David that I'm working with at the moment. Yeah. He is a voiceover artist.
Yeah.
For various things. I think he's done Listerine ads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But his impressions, I've listed them out, from Vader to even, I don't know, Han Solo, insanely good.
Really?
To the point where I think Lucasfilm would be like, saying, "Did you actually employ James L. Jones for this job? Because that was mental."
That's a very high bar you're setting there, mate. I hope.
I am, and I stand by it.
I've got a pint glass here. I could do my an Imperial facility openly attacked.
Yeah, on that note,
I've been John Galantini.
I've been Jude Gay.
And may the Force be with you.